broadcast for shooters, hunters, and gun enthusiasts. This is the Firearms Radio Network. The bandwidth for this episode of Gun Guy Radio is sponsored by Patriot Patch Company. PatriotPatch.co.
Welcome to episode 215 of Gun Guy Radio. This is a podcast that shines a positive light on the firearms lifestyle. I'm your host, Jake Challand. This is your weekly dose of positive firearms talk without the politics. Well, maybe not weekly, but we're back again in a world where Zack and Jake never quit or never stopped podcasting, and Glock actually released innovative firearms.
Ouch.
So Zach's back. How you doing, Zach?
I'm all right. So far, so good. So, do people still talk in the radio voice on podcasts? I don't listen to any gun podcasts.
That's the only way to do it.
America. Okay.
I just blew up my voice.
Yeah. See, you got to work up to it. You're off for 2 years or so, so you gotta get back in the saddle for that.
That's right. Welcome.
No, that's just your old man kicking in right there.
Yeah, that's right. So, Zach, you're the director of, remind me your title?
Titles are kind of made up at our company, but basically I'm a production manager. So I handle everything that is made for Lone Wolf. Yeah.
So production manager at Lone Wolf, Zach Carlson joins us again, and you also do articles for...
Athlon Outdoors is the main publisher, so it goes to a bunch of different titles. But you know, when I did this back in 2014, I was writing mainly for Harris Publications, and then Harris went under, and AMG Parade, Athlon Outdoors, bought all of the Harris titles. So they took over all those titles. A lot of the editors went over to Athlon, and I was convinced to get back in it, and been there for a little over a year now, and working on a bunch of stuff for them.
And you're back on YouTube.
Yeah, so the YouTube thing's kind of weird. You know, when I did videos back in the 13, 14 era there, and I didn't really ever think much of them. You know, they were just kind of throwaway videos, basically. But for some reason, one of my Betamax dumps on the little XTAR EXP 5.56 pistol, that went it got linked on a related video to somebody else. And it just kind of, I wouldn't say it went viral, but it has like hundreds of thousands of views, which none of the other ones did have that much. And so I saw, and that was back in that time, 2013, you could monetize without real strict rules on it. And so when I had that unclaimed property, did I tell you that last week? I don't know if I ever told you, but one of our high school friends, Rich Hayes, did a link on Facebook saying like, hey, don't forget to check your unclaimed property websites under your states. And I was like, oh yeah, well, let's try it. And I tried Illinois, and ironically I got like $10 back from Illinois because of the stupid iPass deposit or whatever I had to put on because I never returned my iPass. So they gave me money back. And then Washington State had like $375 for me, and it was from YouTube. And apparently when you sign up for monetization for YouTube, because I never actually got paid out any money, well, they send you a PIN card, like a little post-it to your house, and you're supposed to type in that number to verify that's actually you on the website, and then you get paid. Well, I moved. That's when we moved up here. And so I had an old PO box it went to. Nobody ever claimed. It didn't forward it for some reason. So I just never thought anything of it. So I got that check and I was like, oh, I should go look at my YouTube account. I haven't looked at it in 4 years. And now they have a rule where you have to have 1,000 subscribers and I think it's 4,000 minutes watched in the last whatever time period. And I was at like 800 subscribers. So I was like so close. And I was like, oh crap. Okay. If I do a little work here, maybe I'll get it back to monetization. And so I've been doing videos on them, and I'm over the threshold now, and it just says waiting review. So who knows how long Google takes to actually turn monetization back on. It says it could take a month. Googling it says that people say they've gone 6 months and it's still not been turned on. So I don't really have any hope for actual monetization.
They've been turning off a bunch of gun channels too. So
exactly. So we'll see how it goes. But I mean, the main thing was I kind of ran into this dilemma that you get, I don't know if you know how publishing works, but basically for freelancers like me, if you're not getting the editors to like push down articles to you saying, hey, we got an idea to review this or that, and I want you to write it. Like that's only happened one time for me, and that was random. Most of my articles are saying, hey, Mr. Editor, I want to write about this. What do you think? And they'll say, oh yeah, that's a good fit for this title or this title and whatnot. So that's how most of the articles come about. And that's good for me because it's something that I'm wanting to write about. It's not just something that you're forced to. Because I think that's probably going to be the hardest way to write something is if you're just forced to write about something that you don't really like or have a passion for. And that's why, some people say, well, they're so slanted. They never say anything negative. And it's like, well, yeah, because I don't buy anything that I didn't want, or wasn't good. If it wasn't good, it wouldn't have even made it in the article. So, but basically I pitch these articles and they want, most articles are 1,800 words. That's a standard article. That's 3 or 4 pages in a magazine. And a lot of times you need a lot of products for that, but you can't give every product its real due because you only get 1,800 words. So if you have 10 products, that's 180 words per product. And that's really nothing. That's like less than a paragraph, So what I started doing is I partnered with Hunter Elliott over at rangeHot.com. I've known Hunter for a long time, and I really like him as a person. So he's got a website that does reviews. For the longest time, he was the main writer over there. And I said, hey, can I write for you too? I just want to get another outlet for this. Because, I feel bad when you take a product and you're using it in an article and it goes out to that article, but it doesn't seem like it gets the coverage it really deserves. And that happens a lot with these smaller companies. Like I wrote an article about long range on a budget. That was a 1,000-yard Ruger American 6.5 Creedmoor. And I had a lot of little doodads like the bipod. Well, you can't spend a ton of words just on the bipod when you're really talking about the overall picture of making that a budget long-range rifle. So I wanted another outlet for those smaller deals. So that's why I started doing the range hot articles so I could actually do it however long I needed it to be. Hunter gave me basically free will of whatever I wanted to write about, I could write about, and whatever length it needed to be, it could be. It was never set of how many words it had to be. So I started putting them on there. And then while I was at it, I'm already doing it. Why not just do a YouTube quick video for it? So started doing the videos for it. And they're kind of ancillary, but like on Range Shot, I'll embed that video on the article and get a little more clicks that way and views. Because some people just don't want to read, they want to see the video. That's fine by me if I already have it. And you'll notice they're not heavily edited. I'm not a video editor. I actually don't know how those guys even do it. Like when I see the production values on some of these, I'm just amazed. My brain just doesn't work that way. But if I could do it in like a one take, I'm a one take guy. So
that's what she said.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's one take wonder to you, but okay. I just edit it. I shoot everything on the iPhone, edit it on the iPhone, upload right from the iPhone, and there's not really a workflow for that. It's easy on the iMovie on the phone. So, just started doing those. I think it's fun. It's always interesting to see the comments. I've thankfully so far not been plagued by bad comments yet. I've gotten pretty well sane people, but I'm waiting for the day that I just get a crazy person. Because I know a lot of people get those on YouTube
or on podcasts.
Yeah, well, is there comments on podcasts? Are we getting bad comments? Is there crazies?
Yeah, there's some. I've gotten crazy things in the mail even. I can tell you more later, but there's some people that are pretty far out there. And I think I looked up the iTunes reviews on this show, and like some anti-gunner that just wrote, "Guns are the answer for everything."
So they're stating a fact. All right, whatever.
Right?
Yeah, whatever.
Well, very cool. So, how can people find your work again?
I think if you just type in on YouTube, Zach Carlson Writer, it should come up. I think you'll probably put a link in the show notes here. Where do you keep the show notes nowadays?
Yeah, show notes will be at firearmsradio.tv. Just click Gun Guy Radio, or you could search Gun Guy Radio Podcast, and hopefully it still comes up in Google.
Does it show up in the podcast player? Does it show, like on a lot of shows I listen to, if you swipe right or whatever or swipe left on the app?
Yeah, I think I can do that now. I think back when we started, you couldn't like put links and stuff in there, but I noticed you can now. So yeah, I'll get right on that.
Oh, sure, yeah. Amid your patch empire.
Speaking of patches, Patriot Patch Company sponsors this episode. You can check out the Patch of the Month Club. Did you get your Patch of the Month, Zach?
I did, and where is it at? I have it. I had it. I brought it. I don't know where I put it now. Hold on. It's around here somewhere. You keep talking about your ad read, and I'll find it.
So the Patch of the Month Club, you can get an exclusive limited edition patch mailed to your mailbox, house, place of work every month. And it's a unique design. Usually it's themed around the month. Like December, we always do some kind of tactical Santa, or around Thanksgiving, we'll do a tactical turkey that's pissed off, and really cool stuff. So there you go.
I do have it. This month is a Chris Vector, and it says, beware, short barrel, shorter temper. I almost said temperature, but shorter temper. And it's green. It's got the Celtic knots all over it. Yeah, it's a good-looking one.
That's right. And you can actually still get that one for a limited time. If you sign up for the Patch of the Month Club, just go over to patriotpatch.co or Google Patriot Patch and sign up. And lots of other cool patches and stuff over there as well.
Well, you should explain also that it's not just a patch. That is this levels of membership, or is there one level of membership? Does everybody get the sticker and the drawing and all that?
Right. Yeah. So everyone gets the matching sticker, and they also get the artwork, the original artwork by Ryan Cross. He signs it and everything.
This is the box where most of the stickers end up.
Oh, your ammo can?
Yeah. Well, actually, this is a gun can. This is an MTM case guard. Foam. It holds 3 pistols and 3 extra magazines, and it's a little bit bigger than a 50 cal ammo can. And then has dual latches on it, and I put a lot of the stickers on there. But all of the patches go on my safe wall.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah. So we just did a sticker giveaway. That's the other thing. You go over to Facebook and look at the new Patriot Patch buy sell trade group, where we give away stuff every Friday as well. So guns, did you do anything with guns this week? I know you work for a gun company, but
I know I do gun stuff every single day. Every day. I feel like Newman in the mail. It's it just doesn't stop, Jerry.
Oh, come on. You didn't go in today just like Newman. Was it raining?
Yeah, well, it is what it is. Well, this week I am working on a review for range bags. So I am literally up to my elbows in range bags. I'll just give you a quick peek here. This whole stack of range bags over here by my feet, if you could see there. I have them. There's probably 6 range bags. Actually, 7.
There's a ton.
7. Yeah, there's a ton. So this was an article that I had pitched. It kind of went down like this. I have a 511 range bag. It's their 43-liter range ready bag. It's on their website. It's like $100 or something.
Liter? You keep water in it?
I don't know why they call it that. Let me see what it's actually called. I think it's called that. Let's see. 511. Anyways, it's I like it a lot. It's a really big bag. I actually attended a class, and one of the guys that attended had this bag, and I said, "Hey, is that what are the details there? How do you like it?" He said he loved it. It's very compartmentalized, but it's big. Got to cut that out. I didn't hit the button.
I got you a mic with a cough button for a reason.
I know, but the cough button was hanging down low. I didn't reach it. Anyways, the 43-liter range bag is awesome. And so I wanted to get it in the magazines. I already written up for rangeshot.com. It's there. I think I did a video on it, kind of showing it off. But I really liked it, so I pitched it to the editors at Athlon, and they're like, "Hey, yeah, that's great. Let's do like the top 10 bags." I was like, okay. And so they're like, what do you, if you could do any bags, what would you do? So I kind of went down the deep dive rabbit hole of range bags, And there's a big market for range bags. Apparently, there's a, you got me hooked on LA police gear years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
And I never had kind of moved away from a $20 range bag. I still have my little miniature bailout bag, I think they call them or whatever.
Yeah.
At $20, I put everything in there. It was never a big issue. But then when I got this 511 bag, I realized, okay, there is a difference. I mean, you do get something for your money. And then I started diving into $200 bags. And there is a difference. There is a very difference. Whether it's worth it to you or not, I don't know. But so I'm going to review the original range bag from 511. I have a Safariland shooter's range bag. This one is kind of a more basic one. On Safari's website, or Safariland's website, I think it's $80, but I found it on Amazon for $60, I think.
Yeah.
So it's fairly basic. It's not very padded. That's not its strong suit. But a lot of these, have that interior pull-out bag. So once you rip the main compartment open, it has a pull-out bag that has pistol storage and ammo storage and all that.
Right.
So I got the Safariland. I've got this Eberly stock one. So Eberly stock is known for hunting backpacks, and they were one of the companies. I don't know if they were the first or anything, but they're kind of known for the big hunting backpacks that you can slide a full rifle on your back, and it carries your hunting rifle when you're out there trekking. Well, they've got a range bag too, so I've got this one here, and I think it's $180, something like that. It's high quality. You feel it. It's got a little bit. I don't know how to explain it. There's these. It's got compression straps on it, so you can tie your shooting bat or like your shooting mat. I go do rifle shooting, right. I lay on a mat, so you can strap it right to it, carry it. It's got a hard shell bottom, so it doesn't get nasty if you lay it in mud or whatever. It's not going to penetrate through the bag, so that's kind of nice. And I realize we're working in an audio format here, but if you do go to my YouTube channel, there is an overview video for each one of these. And then I've got this one here. I think so far this is my favorite. This is the Elite Survival Systems Loadout Range Bag. It's got laser cut molly webbing here. It's got the same deal with the pull out. It's more compact. It's a shorter bag than the 511 bag that I was used to. But everything feels quality. That's a $200 and some odd bag, but the zippers feel great. They don't feel like they bind, they glide. Just kind of the quality materials. And then there's 3 other ones real quick I'm going to go through. This is a 511 bag. It's kind of squished right now, but this is their new one. They just showed off at SHOT this year, and they're not going to be out until the end of the year. But this is a sample they sent me. It literally says sample in like white letters in the bottom because my due date is in August for this article, so I wasn't going to make it if not. But basically, it looks like a big lunchbox. I
was going to say it looks like a lunchbox.
Yeah, it's a fat guy lunchbox. It's like a 3-person lunchbox, but inside of it has pistol cases and these little modular bags that all stack on each other. So it's kind of like what do they call those lunchboxes? Bento boxes, I think, where they have.
I don't have a clue.
Think of it like Tupperware, that you put little modular Tupperware in a bigger Tupperware. Think of that concept for range bags. And so they have, this one is like half the size, and then I have got this big duffel style one that is the same concept but just much larger.
I kind of feel like I'm at a Tupperware or a range bag party,
Well, I mean, I could take your order today, and you could sign up your friends to sell range bags as well, and then you'll get a percentage of every range bag they sell.
That's actually genius. I mean, that might work.
It's kind of like an inverted pyramid. And then, so that's how the 511 system works. I like that one. And then this is the last one I'm going to show you. This is more your style, I think. This is all you, right?
Oh, yeah, the Brownells range bag. I gave one of those away before to a listener. We had a few back in the day we gave away.
This is their signature series deluxe one.
Yeah.
This is a $250 range bag, but man, it is awesome. It looks like you're wearing a set of Carhartts, and it's got that same kind of feel to it. It feels like it should come from Duluth or like Filson or somebody.
It's
got real brown leather.
Yep.
But yeah, this one's cool. Very real brass zipper pulls and leather straps on the pulls. Very high quality. That's a good one too. So I think I've got a few more coming. I got to go look at my spreadsheet to figure out what's left. But after I get them all, then I can start photographing them and all and everything. But
Cool.
this brings up an interesting point. I was going to ask your opinion. I've got too much crap. So how do you effectively manage a giveaway for this stuff?
Boy.
I almost need to do like get me to 2,000 or YouTube followers or get me to 1,500. Like how can I do it based on?
Yeah, I do something like that. I don't know. I've never really done like get me to this point, have I? I just do giveaways for the hell of it.
Well, that's why you're in a patch empire, and I'm just the poor guy working for the man.
That's a good idea, though. Yeah, do some milestones.
Yeah, because I mean, what am I going to do with 10 range bags? You know, there's not much I could do. It's not like
have a party, sign up your friends.
Yeah, and then once they exhaust all their friends and family, then the business has crumbled.
Right.
Huh.
But
Okay.
I mean, you get rich in the meanwhile, so it's okay.
Yeah, I'll be laughing all the way to the bank, just like every other MLM. Yeah.
So how
Anyways,
are you going to do any like durability testing, or just like functionality mainly, or?
I think it's going to be mainly functionality. I'm not sure how I'd really do a durability. I mean, they're all high quality feeling. They're not.
Run them over with a car, obviously.
Okay, send me all your gear. I'll put them in the bag and I'll run them over. No, I think it's going to be functionality. I'm going to just basically load them out how I like for every rain trip and just see, like, is it like a purse, you know, and women are like, I can't find anything in here. Is it going to be like one of those situations, or is it going to be, okay, I know where it's at, pull it out? Because that's what I really like about the big 511 bag is there's multiple pockets, and I just know that all my mag loaders are in this pocket, all my staple gun and all that stuff, and shot timer and all that are in the other one. It's a lot easier to just get to everything. But we'll see how these other ones go. It seems like everybody went to a pull-out bag within a bag system.
Yeah.
But I don't quite get, what do you do with the outer bag if you have the inner bag? Like, I suppose you could pull the inner bag out and then fill the big bag too, but it seems a little redundant.
It's just the main transport for the smaller bags, right?
Yeah, because all you're gaining is a couple extra exterior pockets. So I don't know. But I kind of like the idea of the 511 Rangemaster system with the modular bags, because you could have the little bags that go inside of them have a little identification Velcro on them. So you could put like, this is my hearing protection, or this is my 9mm ammo. And then you could theoretically just pull the bags that are applicable to your range trip, stick them in there, and then go.
Right.
Instead of having to swap things out a lot.
That's not a bad idea. Cool. Yeah, looking forward to that. We'll drop a link when it posts, but you said later this year it's not coming out till.
Yeah, the print article won't be out till, God, who knows? I don't have to submit it even till August, so it's a few months after that.
You release your YouTube stuff early though, so.
Oh yeah, the YouTube stuff. There's already one up there. Most of these bags are already up as of right now. Just the initial like benchtop overview showing the features, the measurements, and all that.
Yeah.
And then as I go to the range, we'll video it more. But
cool.
It's freaking cold here for range right now.
Well, it is practically Canada where you're at, so there's that.
Yeah. Well, you just wait till you get to South Dakota and you are clamping your kids on a guide wire so they don't blow away, and then we'll see how you say.
All right, let's get into the main topic, gun burnout. I think we did it. I did an episode on burnout before, but that was more like me and my life.
Well, that's encouraging. I guess we should take a recap. Have you recovered since then?
I'm recovering.
You're recovering burnout? Well, I guess, are you really recovering? Because you're escaping to a backwoods home.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, the Unabomber did it too, I guess.
He was always there, right?
No, he was do you know the story on the Unabomber? Apparently, I'm going to speak, I don't remember exactly the details, but something about he was part of the LSD drug trials from one of the major universities. I can't remember if it was Harvard or whatever. And so they fried his brain.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
The more you know.
Yeah, you need to insert that little soundbite.
History moment with Zach Carlson. You brought this out, that we should really at some point talk about gun burnout because...
Yeah. Do you consider your day job in the gun industry?
No. Mm-mm.
What do you consider it? Just a retailer?
For the sake of simplicity, when people ask me what I do out in public, I'm just like, I sell stuff on Amazon. I mean, that's the easiest way to... They're like, oh, what kind of stuff? I'm like, yeah, patches, T-shirts, stuff. Because I mean,
implements of death.
It's just such a niche thing that I do. It's really like it's really hard to dive into it.
Well, why don't you just tell them you're a house husband?
Because I'm not.
Oh, okay.
My wife stays at home, so that wouldn't work.
Well, you're both stay-at-home parents. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I was curious to that because, I deal with guns all day, every day, which isn't a bad thing. I would much rather do that than not, I guess. And I've always thought of that. I thought, okay, if I didn't do this, what would I want to be doing every day? And I just don't know if I could be happy to go to work, production manager of a silverware factory or something. I just don't. Well, I don't want to move to China either, but like anything that we still make over here. Like I don't know if I could get excited about a widget that is not. I can't get behind. So I'm thankful for that. I realize that, and I'm sure a lot of people would say, "Well, man, he's got the best job out there," but it is a grind. I mean, it takes its toll on you, especially when it used to be your hobby, or I shouldn't say used to. Started off as your hobby, turned into your job, and then you have the hobby on the side when you get home, and then you have a side business that is writing about the hobby that you made your job and your hobby.
This can be such a fatal flaw for a lot of people. They work at a job they hate. They got to get out of there. They got to do what they love, their hobby, make their hobby in their living because it's so wonderful and that's what they want to eat, sleep, and breathe. It's actually a really good way to crap up your hobby and ruin your hobby is what it is. So like you kind of mentioned last time that, a lot of people are just satisfied with doing a 9 to 5 and then doing what they really love on the side, whatever that is. And that really does protect, your hobby. It doesn't ever immerse yourself so far in it. You just get so sick of it. I think it happened to both of us because of the trade shows and all the media and everything that we consume with it. It's just like never ending and so immersive.
Yeah, I mean, because do you remember, it's been, 10 years now, where I worked in a warehouse that I absolutely hated, and you were in a postman position that you absolutely hated. But on the weekends, we would go to your dad's house and just shoot and have fun. And we had crappy guns. Like, we were not high-dollar buyers. I mean, we didn't have expensive things. And it was, well, I can't speak for you, but for me, that was my pride. We had cool stuff, but it wasn't, if I look back at it now, it's like, oh, you're like the FUD, that's buying like a goofy cheap gun or whatever. But I didn't have the money to buy a fancy gun. So, but now every time I go shooting, I think, God dang, that was a lot of money I just blew in ammo. It hasn't gotten cheaper. This is a very expensive hobby, and I don't know how quote unquote normal folk afford it. And that's probably why you have a lot of people that only shoot a couple hundred rounds a year or just go hunting, but I kind of look at it as there's, what is the average gun enthusiast? Can you actually compartmentalize it and not make it a hobby? I don't know. I mean, I know there's people that own guns for protection or home defense, and that's kind of the extent of it. They don't go shooting every weekend, or they don't read the Firearm blog or any kind of the blogs or anything. Is that the normal? Well,
yeah, you wrote in the show notes there's a distinct difference between a gun owner and gun enthusiast, and there absolutely is.
Yeah, but is one better than the other? I can't say, and I don't know. But it's, if you're a gun owner, let's say a hunter. There's a lot of guys, especially around you, that like bird hunt, right? Or they'll shotgun deer hunt. They might have a gun in a fabric gun case laying in the side of their closet, and a box of shells or two, and then some camo gear. To me, that's just maddening. To me, that's all I would, in my mind, I would say that's an awesome place to be, where you don't have it consuming your life. Half of my garage is full of gun crap, and it's just, you could buy one gun and that's it. But all the accessories and support equipment and minutia that goes with it just fills everything. And I don't know, is the hunters the best place to be? But then I look at hunting, especially out here. I won't speak for Illinois, but here you could spend a small fortune just to go shoot an animal to get the meat. It's like, okay, those better be the best steaks you ever ate, because those things were the most expensive steaks you've ever eaten.
They really can be, yeah.
And just the people buy RVs to go out to the hunting sites or the campsites, and they buy all these lightweight, super duper equipment and support equipment and hunting packs. And have you ever looked at how much a hunting pack costs these days? It's like $500. Like, they're expensive. And so I don't quite understand how people can do it. But then I look at it like hunting, it's typically a seasonal thing, right? So they're kind of in it really heavy for, what is it, a month or two maybe, and then they're back out and they're back to their daily lives. Or the really good ones are doing physical preparedness so that their body's ready to hike the mountain come September. But I don't know, is that a better place to be?
I mean, if you're having a blast doing it, no matter what you spend on it or how much time you spend on it, if you're having a good time, I guess that's the difference. And you're probably never going to get to the place of being burned out doing it, because it's such a, small percentage of what you do overall.
Yeah, I'm like, is hiking a better hobby? Like, there, you just need a pair of shoes and the will to.
We'd be a lot skinnier.
Yeah, probably. But then when I think of hiking, I think, okay, I need probably a G29 because that's got a 10-round mag of 10 millimeter, and that's a shorter barrel, so it's easier to carry. But maybe I want the G20 because it's got a longer barrel, more velocity, more capacity. But then you don't want to wear it on your belt because then it might be hard to get to if you're wearing a pack. So then you got to have a chest holster for it, and then this and this and this, and it just, maybe my mind is just not made out for simplicity.
Well, I think the problem with both you and me is when we get into a hobby, we go full steam,
full retard,
full head over heels into it. We can't do something just a little bit.
I seem to recall somebody, I won't name his name, I don't know, had a whole garage at an apartment complex filled with video game stuff, like old video game stuff, like stuff that is, what, 8-bit, 16-bit maybe? I don't know, how old is
8-bit, 16, yeah, I had a...
You had cardboard cutouts of the characters. You had everything.
I had a business. I was.
Oh yeah, a business.
No,
okay.
It was. I was repairing video game systems. That was back when the first PlayStation, the first Xbox was out, and so like all the college kids in the area that come have me fix their system and stuff.
Okay, but did that bring you joy having all that crap in the garage?
Sure, for a time.
For a time. But was it more fun just collecting it or just knowing you had it?
Oh, back then I had issues. I think just having it was. But I became such a minimalist since then. I could do without really anything.
Well, I can do without it, but the choice of doing it without or not is the question. So, are you doing without, or could you just do without?
Both.
Well, I guess you're going to find out with your move here, aren't you?
Well, I've been so broke, I became a default minimalist.
Okay, you should have led with that. Okay, so you were poor enough that you were forced into minimalism. Okay, all right. Well, that's a whole different story, I guess. But
anyways, let's go back to gun burnout. Symptoms, warning signs.
I think when a warning sign is when you think you want to go shooting and you start putting all the stuff together to go, and you're just like, I've done that a few times in the last. It's like, man, it's such a production. Like, for me, the nearest is a public DNO. What is that called? Just like a public park. Yeah, whatever they call it. Over there, you get a little pass, and it's okay. It's about 15 minutes from here, but you can't drive right up to the shooting line, so you have to park and then hike it in.
There's walking involved.
I know. I even bought one of those collapsing wagons, that you can collapse down and you pop it out. It works good, but it's like you can't just bring you can't just throw a pistol on your hip and carry a bag of shells and just go at it. There's targets, a target stand. You got to have the shot timer if you're doing your training. There's so much to it.
Yeah.
What? Do I sound like a whiny person here?
You just sound like an old fud is all. I mean,
I guess I'm getting to that point because it's just like I envy the people that just can shoot out their back window or, well, I guess some people can, but, Chicago's a whole different place, I guess. But, it's...
Open the window first.
Yeah. Well, do you remember that club in by your house, that pistol club that we would... Did you go with me? Yeah, you went with me, didn't you? That.
Oh, yeah. That's where I took my concealed carry for Illinois.
Okay, so it's still open then.
Well, it's, very private, though. I mean, you have to know someone.
Yeah, and that's what I did that, and that was cool. It was like a man cave. It was like a building. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen it, so maybe you'll have to help me fill in the details. But they had a big bench system. Windows would fold open or open up, and you could shoot. I think it was 25 yards, maybe. It wasn't very far.
Yeah.
And it was pistol only, which kind of sucked. But they had outdoor lights, so you could shoot at night if you wanted to. You just go there, shoot. You can put everything away, go have a drink, or go play. They played cards and stuff there. That's cool. I think I could get into that, but just having to shoot for shooting's sake is kind of a tough one. That's why I do like shooting at the office, because I can just we have a shooting range at our office.
It's just funny. I mean, that would be workplace violence most anywhere else.
Yeah. Karen, how many times did I tell you to clean the creamer out of the coffee mugs? Okay.
It wasn't a desk pop.
No, I've only had one of those. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I just I don't know what to do to fix it. I think, do I not write for another year? Is it because I'm writing about it that it's too much? Or is it, obviously I can't get rid of my day job, and I don't want to get rid of I wouldn't take another job that's not gun related unless I really got into it for some reason. I think I probably could work in the automotive industry somehow, but I'm not really into cars anymore either, though. But at least I get the passion behind it. It's kind of like, guns and cars are very similar in that regard.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's something I'm definitely going to do more as a hobby is car gambler stuff in the future too. Cause they do kind of go hand in hand. And so are you saying you're still pretty burned out on the whole thing? Or are you more like back to like a comfort zone now?
Well, I guess I'm comfortable. I wonder, I keep asking myself, and I don't know that hobbyists ask them this question do you think the average gun enthusiast or gun owner asks themselves, is this worth it? Do they say that? I mean, do you ever remember 10 years ago, before you were even involved in the industry whatsoever, did you ever ask yourself, is this worth it? Going on a shooting range trip. Did you ever say that?
No, I mean, no, it's like, yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we blew money on ammo. We blew money we didn't have on ammo.
Right. We were poorer than ever and shot all the time. Every chance we could get, we went shooting. And we were dead broke, had crappy guns, but it was awesome. It was a great time. I mean, and there's a certain amount of magic to that. That's like the I don't know, kind of center of your happiness when it comes to a hobby, where you don't need all the whiz-bang great things. You just like going out there with your buds and shooting.
Yeah, but when you're in the industry and you are supposedly I don't want to say subject matter expert, but you're writing quote-unquote authoritative articles about the subject, you're kind of expected to have good equipment. You're not supposed to have some piece of junk out there and then proclaiming it's good, because people will see right through that. And there's people that are more knowledgeable that will say, no, that's a piece of junk. Why are you prophesizing that? So there is a level of quality that I have to maintain, I think, unless I'm wrong. I mean, maybe I don't.
High points all day long, baby.
Have you ever owned a high point?
No, but I do have a Jimenez or Imenez or however you say it.
I think it's pronounced Saturday Night Special.
Hey, that gun was actually a great gun. I think I sold it.
Oh, see, this is you. See, you would be the guy that I'm talking about. I know that's a crappy gun, and you're saying it's a good gun. Well, so that means you still have the spark.
No, I just like crappy stuff. I do the Gambler 500. I mean, I love junk cars. I mean, I like both. I can,
See, I would normally explain that away by saying you've never had a new car, but you did have a new car when you shouldn't have had a new car. And so, so do you remember the smell of a new car and how everything works and it acts as a supposed, I know it was a Chevy, so it only lasted a very short time for you, but do you remember those days?
I do. I could care less. I mean, whatever.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Wow. I see. I do like new cars. I'll give him that. I'll give us that. But I also
don't like car payments. Not ever going back there again.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. It's a total different mindset. Yeah, and I respect both ways. I've seen both ways. I've lived both ways, and if I didn't have to commute so much, I think I probably would be okay just driving a clunker and cross your fingers every time you turn the key, kind of thing. But
how long is your commute?
I drive a little over 25,000 miles a year, so about 40 miles each way. So 75 to 80 miles a day, 5 days a week. And then the weekends, we take my car on the weekends for trips because I get 43 miles a gallon versus her car gets 30 miles. So
I get 10 and I'm A-okay with that.
And aren't you in one of the highest tax states for gas, probably?
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah. I mean, it's probably not like the East Coast, but yeah, it's bad. As far as the Midwest, it's got to be the highest.
So do you... your kids are probably still this age too, is sometimes I'll watch Camden play and he will do just the most imaginative stuff out of nothing. Like it's that whole, funny thing, like, oh, you buy him a toy and he'll play with the box versus the toy kind of thing.
Right.
That's a legit thing. Like I still remember doing that with guns. Like I had an AR-15. My very first AR-15 was an iron sighted carry handle, like no optics, no nothing, not even a sling. And I thought that was the baddest gun I ever had, and I found pictures of me shooting that gun just a little bit ago when I was cleaning out some old photos. And I still remember that gun fondly. And do we need all this crap?
Well, no, you don't need anything. Need, air quotes. I mean, I don't know.
But do you need a gun for self-protection?
Do you need one? I'd say I need one.
But you're 36, right? So you've gone 36 years without needing a gun for self-protection.
I know that's a very good argument. You could go that route as well.
Yeah. So,
what are the chances that you will ever use a firearm in I mean,
slim.
So slim. So I mean, like being all pumped for self-defense and protection and everything and carrying every day and everywhere. I mean, that's really the lifestyle and kind of the enthusiast side of it too. I mean, probably get hate mail for saying that, but it's true. I mean, yeah, but I carry every day. I'm not saying I don't, and I've got multiple guns that I can carry. I've got all the gear. I've done the training. I've got more training coming up. Like I'm in it to win it. Don't get me wrong, but we're all fooling ourselves if we say we need to do this. It is a choice. It is an enthusiast's choice to do it. And honestly, the most people I meet, I don't want them carrying guns every day. There's some weird people out there, like it is what it is. But I know you can get to that other side of the spectrum where the guys in the industry, they're like, you should carry every day. Everyone should carry all the time. Your grandma should carry, everyone should carry all the time. It's your right. You should do it. And, not everyone, I don't know. You're right. There's some crazy people out there, and there's some people that are just not comfortable carrying, but are still pro-gun.
Exactly. And so how do you get past that burnout? Like, do you just carry and call that good and just shoot every so often to keep your skills sharp and everything? Because, when I started training with these RE Factor tactical targets, or RE Factor tactical, the target systems, that blew my mind. It was like a regimented training system. So it's one target that has a bunch of drills on it. I don't know. Did we talk about this?
I know exactly what you're talking about though. Yeah.
Yeah. It has a book with drills on it, and you can write down the times, and you can go back and see your progress and make sure you're not falling off in any certain skill set, because it tests you in a bunch of different skills. And really, I do notice I get better if I do it more often, but I'm never bad enough to the point where I feel like, oh crap, why am I even carrying? I can't even hit the target. I'm not that bad. But how does the average gun owner shoot that much? Like how much do you think an average person even shoots?
Never. I mean, I look back at my concealed carry class, and out of that, and then I hung around a couple other concealed carry classes after that, helping out a little bit on the side. And I would like those 2, 3, 4 classes I was around. I asked each time, how many of you guys are going to carry every day? How many of you plan on carrying every day once you get your license? None. Virtually none. Maybe there was one out of the whole 2, 3 classes.
What was their plan? Like car carry or something?
Yeah, I can take it in my car. I'll take it if I think I need it, if I'm going to a bad part of town. So many people are like that. I'd say 75% of people with CCLs are like that.
Would you say?
I really think so.
I think, if they know they're going into a bad part of town, why are they even going? Like, that boggles my mind.
Yeah, that's the real thing too. You should avoid bad places, especially when you're carrying. Well,
yeah, and I do carry every day. There's no doubt about that. But
and I do too. But there's it's interesting to talk about the realities of it too.
So, what's your funnest gun to shoot? Like, when do you, as a pure hobby aspect, what's the gun that you go to?
I like shooting any pistols. I've kind of always been that way, and I still am.
Why don't you like rifles?
I like rifles, but like as far as volume for what I do, it's pistol any day. Like if you gave me the choice, it'd be pistol. I'm
kind of a pistol person just for convenience. It's a lot easier to pack and carry to the range and not have to bring a bunch of junk with you to support that decision. But I don't know. I just try to think, what did we have the most fun with? Wasn't it 22s back in the day?
Yeah, a lot of 22s, 1022s, and when I was younger, I'd shoot a bolt action 22, shoot at birds and stuff, shoot the ground squirrels.
So you were a murderer as a child.
Yes.
How many of those animals did you eat, Jake?
None.
Wow. All right. Well, I think today they call those people psychopaths. I think I think they get on a list.
I'm sure I'm on a list. Absolutely.
Yeah, we're all on lists. So yeah, I guess the question is, what is burnout in your context, and then is it even worth trying to get out of, or do you just write it out and then it'll naturally change?
I've been writing it out. It's naturally gonna change for me as I gain more time and freedom in my schedule, because I've just been in the grind this last 4, 5, 6 years, ever since starting the network and then gearing up to leave the post office and starting these businesses and quitting the network and really diving 200% into everything I'm doing in the businesses to get them actually generating the income we need. And I've just been so laser focused on making things work on the business family side of things that I just hasn't been a priority to go shoot. Hasn't been, I haven't really even thought about it. I've only shot my carry gun on all the range trips I've gone the last couple of years. That's mainly my carry gun, a couple other pistols, done an AR a little bit. I had the kids shoot their guns a couple times, but I've only gone a handful of times the last couple of years, and it was, mainly just to get out and shoot my carry gun.
Now, my argument would be when you're in this stressful time of your life of doing all these things, wouldn't that be the time that you want the hobby the most?
I just have these goals that I have to hit. I'm 36. The time's counting down. We're like on the other side of this pendulum now. And
we're almost to the overhill gag gifts. I think 40s when you get to those overhill gag gifts.
I already got one a couple of years ago. I got a toilet plunger shotgun. So anyways, I've just got so many things pressing where I feel like I'm behind the curve on, I don't really have any retirement because I've been pouring everything into these businesses and everything to build them up so I have something to retire on. And so,
I thought that's why you had 5 kids, so they would be old enough to take care of you if they all put in 20%.
Right. That's how they do it in Asian societies, not ours. And not just the gun stuff, but like anything I do for fun, I'm just like, I'm too busy right now, unfortunately. I'm in the grind, but, we're going to be moving out of state, moving to a place in the country. So, once I hit that goal of buying the house and, if I have to do improvements on it, doing whatever improvements I got to do on it later this year. And then after that, I'm really looking forward to having time to shoot on my own property and stuff like that. So that's where I see myself really getting back into, shooting a lot more often.
Didn't you say you were going to be a hobby farmer too, though?
There's no pressure there. Like, if I get to it, I get to it. If I don't, I don't. I want the option available. So that's why I'm being very intentional in where we live and, type of farmland around the place we live and stuff. So I have that opportunity in the future.
But I guarantee if you start hobby farming, you're going to turn that into a business of some sort.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
It's just the way you're wired. I mean, everything's got a dollar attached to it.
It is.
And that's not a bad thing. I mean, it is what it is. So you don't do anything for fun right now. So that's what you're telling me?
Well, I wouldn't say anything.
I know you have 5 kids and all, but like besides that, what do you do for fun?
Record a podcast with you.
Yeah, smooth. Okay. Well, and I think if you had something else, the burnout could be avoided. Not you personally, but just people in general. And that's where I started to do woodworking a lot of times. I got heavy into woodworking for a while. But after a while, there's only so much you need. And, then that quickly turns into I could just make more of these and sell them. And I could do that. And then it's like, you're right back to square one. It's just like, right. It's just, you went a full revolution on that merry-go-round. And
did you build furniture back into pallets?
Yeah, I could start a pallet factory. Right. No, I don't know. I think I hit the point in woodworking where it would be beneficial to have really good equipment, and I don't have the space for it because I'm in a third bay of my garage, and the third bay is guns and woodworking, and it converts back and forth. But once you get big stationary woodworking equipment, it kind of has to stay there. You don't get to roll it in and out.
Right.
So I put a lot of this stuff into these cabinet systems that I have, and so it doesn't get everywhere. But I like the woodworking. I'd like to do it again. I think wood turning would be fun. Having a wood lathe and making all the cool bowls and
yeah, my dad did that for a while. He had one in the basement. He made some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I just I don't know a lot about like all the drying of the woods and like the hardwood, softwood, all that like details, all that. But I think that would be fun. But then I look at that, I started getting into that. I was actually going to buy a lathe, and then I really got deep into that, and it's almost more of a money pit than guns.
Yeah, I mean a lot of stuff. Well, that's why the Gambler 500 is so great. It's a $500 car, and you drive it till it dies and send it back to the junkyard, and you're done.
Yeah, but then you have to look at a $500 car for the time that you're not gambling with it.
That's great. Who doesn't want to look at a $500 car?
Well, maybe I'm in the minority here, but I don't know.
Well, you mentioned space there, and space is really a big issue for me because I'm just so I don't have any space. I have all my gun stuff in like a 2 foot by 2 foot space on a workbench, and like the rest is stuffed in a safe and like under a table. And because I had to take down my reloading setup and everything, and like everything is like already like been packed away for years and years because the businesses took over all my space for everything. So that's the other thing. Once we move and I get more space set up, that's going to be a big game changer.
But then you'll have to reinvest in all the gun stuff. I mean, it's going to be like starting over, right?
Yeah, but for the first time in my life, I may actually have money to invest in gun stuff.
Yeah, speaking of which, do you sell guns? Like when I get burned out, I go through this phase where like, I get anxious about it. Like it makes my skin crawl looking at all this stuff that I don't use and don't need, and I just sell it all. Do you do the same? Yeah,
I've done that. Yeah, I've liquidated 2 different times and almost everything, or just packed it away, like I said, stuff that's not, the a lot of the reloading stuff's not worth anything to resell. But like I got that way with like the video game stuff. Like I don't have anything. I mean, the kids have an Xbox, but I don't have anything. And the cars I completely liquidated just because I had to focus on businesses because I had all these project vehicles and got rid of all of them. And so I have no problem like just, blowing everything out and just being done with it.
And I don't either for the most part. The problem I run into is when I sell something and my wife says, why are you going to sell that? You like that one. And then I say, oh, no, I'm going to sell it. I need to get rid of it. And then about 3 months later, I'm like, I need to buy another one of those. And she's like, I told you not to sell that one. And I was like, I know, but I wanted to sell it in the moment. But then I realized I need it again. Because you know how many Glock 19s I've bought over the years? Like you think there's something better than a Glock 19 and you sell something to buy something else. I've gone to HK. I've gone to Smith & Wesson. I've gone all over the place getting rid of Glock 19s because there must be something better than a Glock 19. And eventually you just come back to a Glock 19 and you buy that. So I did basically have to eat crow every time I come back and say, oh, yeah, I got to buy another one of those. And so, but I do it a lot. I mean, I'm a ruthless seller of things. And that's why I'm kind of I'm the same way with stuff that doesn't have a lot of monetary value. Like I'm not going to sell stuff and go meet people for $20. It's like, whatever, not worth it for me.
Right.
And I've thought about getting a table at the local gun shows and doing it, but have you been to a gun show recently?
Yes, it's awful. Just awful.
It's awful. It is awful. And so what I did is I partnered with a guy that owns a gun shop that does the gun shows. So I just give him all my stuff. He gets to have a percentage of it and I don't have to deal with it. And that is the way I would suggest for anybody to do it. But I think I'm going to go through a major purge again here. But on the burnout side, back to the burnout, I'm going to keep circling back to this. And you tell me if we're running long and we need to cut this short because I don't even keep track of time. I'm just going to ramble for you.
That's why I have you on. Keep going.
Like I'll look at you never really got into long range shooting, did you?
No.
Don't. Just walk away. I've actually the longest range shooting initially I ever did was at your dad's house. That was I think 500 yards we got out in that field, I believe, when all the crops were down and you could actually see far enough. I think it was 400 or 500 yards, something like that. I thought that was insane. Like you couldn't even see that box. Like you had to have magnification to even see it. Like, do you remember that? That was insane. To me, that was like the coolest thing that we were actually able to hit it.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
That equipment I had was garbage. Like, garbage. It was like a $300 Marlin 308 and like a $200 10 power scope. I mean, it was nothing. And I started down that road. And when I moved out here, I got caught up in the long range hunting thing, and I built a $5,000 gun back then, and it wasn't making any money really, and that was way too much money to be spending on a rifle. And you could shoot a mile with that thing. But I never did. I never took it out. I never went long range hunting. Like so. But now I'm back in it, and even when you get into it, there's so much support equipment that it's almost like if you can't buy one good thing. You have to have everything good because otherwise you're just the weakest link. Whatever that weakest link is, that's the quality of fun you're going to have. And that's where I'm at now. I just sold I'm selling my 6.5 Creedmoor bolt gun, and I'm right on that point of, okay, now I'm ready for a higher quality bolt gun. But then I'm like, okay, well that means there's got to be a good chassis with it too. And then you can't do that, but you got to have the good scope. Thankfully, I have Vortex has been very good to me over the last couple of years, and I have a really good scope for it. But okay, well, there's even a better scope out there. What about that scope? And then like it's this and I get back to it, and I'm like, is it really that fun? Like I don't know. I mean, I had more fun going to the Bergara long range class out in Montana. I don't know if I ever told you this. That they have a long range academy in just outside in Montana over here. And you go there, you don't need anything. You just show up. They teach you. World-class sniper guy teaches you. You use their guns, their suppressors, their optics. And they have all the high-dollar stuff. You use their ammo, even better. Wow. And you go out to 1,500 yards. And It was awesome. It was awesome. And so I almost think, like, is it better to almost like going on vacation? Like, is it better just to save up and kind of shoot your load on a vacation that's destination based on that, like where you just go and you do it with them? But I don't know if you'd get the same deal out of it. Like if you didn't go in it with practice throughout the year, are you going to be the same? You know, because I'm going to a red dot class here for the Modern Samurai Project in May, and I bought a red dot gun well in advance so I could get my mind around it, practice with it, and not feel like a fool when I got there. Because I don't think you would get the same level of training out of it if you went in there dry, basically. You know, I don't think it would be the same. So this is a constant struggle with burning out on the thing, and it's like, if I never had it, would I ever need it? Had I never bought upgrades.
Would you know what you know now if you never knew what you knew then?
Well, that's a life riddle I think you're trying to give me here. But it's almost like lifestyle. You know the concept of lifestyle creep?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. You know, it's just like we bought an expensive house, and now I can never envision living in a cheaper house. Like, I'd like my 3-car garage. I've looked at other houses. They have a 2-car garage. How could you ever get by with a 2-car garage? Because you have a 3-car garage. You know, it's the same thing with guns. You know, I've got an RMR. How would you ever go down to a cheap Burris site or something like, you know, those kind of situations? It's like, but that's a dangerous mentality because there's only so much you can go up. And maybe that's where the burnout is. Maybe I just need to strip everything back to its basics and just go have fun again.
I think it's called keeping up with the Barretts, or keeping up with the H&Ks of the world.
Yeah, I'm actually was looking at one of the Barrett 6.5s because that's how crazy this is, Jake. I was at SHOT Show and I wanted a lightweight 6.5 Creedmoor, and their Barrett Fieldcraft bolt action gun is super duper light. It's fantastic. It feels great. It's awesome. I almost bought it, but then I thought, when's the last time I went hunting? I shot a deer behind the office like 5 years ago.
There we go, the office. Deer hunting at the office.
Yeah, but like, I'm not a hunter. I'm a shooter. I don't mind shooting them, but man, gutting them and everything, not my style. Ugh, no thanks. But like, why was I prepared to spend thousands of dollars on a hunting rifle?
I don't know. Why were you? Only you can answer that.
Because you get caught up in the momentum of the excitement of everything.
Yeah, it's feeling that the next thing's going to make you a little bit happier.
You know, I actually, speaking of burnout, I went on Facebook and I unliked every gun page.
Oh, I did that too.
I took out any groups that I was in, except, you know, gun related. I unfriended contacts that I only knew through the industry that I didn't really wasn't really friends with, but I knew them just, you know, in passing kind of thing.
Sure. And
I started seeing posts from people that I haven't seen for in a long time. I don't know if, you know, just the algorithm got me and just kept feeding me more and more stuff. And I think I'm happier about it. I couldn't tell you for sure, but I definitely like seeing, you know, pictures of people's kids and stuff versus just the latest gun that they bought that I couldn't afford at the time. You know, right. I bought night vision, Jake. I bought night vision recently. What? This year I bought, oh yeah, I'm in it. I bought night vision. I bought IR lasers. I bought everything. And you know how many times I've taken it out in the field?
None.
0. 0. I've looked out in my backyard with it a few times. That's it. I should sell it. I don't even know why I have it. No. I've got thousands of dollars of night vision.
Hey, what if you hear a bump in the night? You have to be the night.
Okay. You should be a marketing guy for a night vision company. Yeah, it works, I guess. But I just I think I'm getting sold on the idea of something versus the reality of something.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, that's marketing, right? Selling people on the idea versus the reality.
Yeah. So everybody should go buy a lone wolf gun because it will make you a better shooter. It'll be more accurate, faster,
and you'll be happy.
Yeah, you'll be happy if you buy something from Lone Wolf.
I mean, there's definitely different levels of marketing, and you know, you don't obviously participate in that style, but I mean, to an extent, that's what we all get caught up in. Whether it's a car, whether it's a house, whether it's, you know, I guess it's kind of materialism when it really comes down to it.
Yes, and I've actually become much more minimalistic in a lot of respects recently, just because I realize that the stuff kind of gives me anxiety. Like I feel different around it all, and I don't need it. And in the last couple of years, I've really changed that mindset too. But
well, when you get to the point of, are you having a lot of difficulty letting go? I mean, that's when you know you're getting into problem territory. If you're having a lot of if you're holding on to it and it's not easy for you to just blow it out and get rid of like a whole category of things, then I think that's when it might be an issue for you. Because I know that's what it was for me back in the day when I was so into, not just video games, but anything electronic, sound systems for cars and stuff like that, just stupid stuff, surround sound systems for the house and,
like a projector, like a 100-inch projector in like a 10 by 10 living room.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. It was fun.
It was fun. Yeah.
But I got to the point where I'm like, none of this really matters. I mean, can't take it with us. I mean, especially as we have kids and we get older, it's like there's more important things. So, I got to the point where I can get rid of anything and everything. Like, I don't care. I mean,
kids included.
Kids are going to be gone, and the first one could be gone in just 9 years. And then don't think I'm not counting this down. Yeah, luckily I got to the point where I just, I can let go of anything, and that's a good thing.
But what do you fill your time with? Like, our kid goes to bed at 7:00. So from 7 to like 10:30 or so when I go to bed, you got to fill it with something. And I don't want to just sit there in front of the TV. Like I don't want to keep up with the Kardashians or any of that stuff. And so I'm on the computer a lot of times, or I'm out here in the shop. I just power putts around here playing with guns. I've reconfigured guns about 1 billion times. Just I've changed around stuff thinking, oh yeah, this will be better. Oh, and I like the weight balance better on this one. And it changes. Like I don't even attempt to sight in optics anymore until I'm ready to actually shoot them, because it's like they're going to be moved again before I even go to the range. So whatever. But I don't know what to do to fill time. I've actually even considered buying an Xbox just to play video games again, but I think that could be its own rabbit hole too, though.
Oh, it can be. I got into Xbox again a couple years ago, and I was playing online with different people from the industry and stuff, and it was really fun. It just became a time suck. I mean, because it was like every night, got to get on with the guys, and right after that is when I quit the network and everything. So I cut all that out, cut everything out. I still hop back on and do work at night. But the wife and I will watch shows. We'll watch at least one show each night, which, I mean, it is what it is. But like, I'm so tired at night. Like I can't even do a game or do like a hobby at this point. I got to get to the point where I'm not so tired all the time.
Are you saying we have to do Fat to Fit again and change your diet around?
I think we might, yeah.
Because that's where the energy comes from, is your diet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, have we thoroughly covered Burnout? I don't think we've ever come to a
I'm burned
conclusion.
out talking about Burnout.
Yeah. Have I burned out all the listeners of talking about Burnout?
Yeah, I think so.
So in closing, they basically never have to turn their hobby into any kind of business, and they will still like it, is what we've come up with, basically.
Yeah, basically, don't ever try to turn your hobby into anything more than a hobby.
Yeah, so just basically don't ever try to be happy, is what we're trying to tell people.
I mean, some people can do it. I think it depends on your personality, how far into it you dive.
So we're just too obsessive compulsive, is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's exactly it, I think.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, well, I hope we covered it. So you're saying I should quit writing, is what you're just telling me.
No, I think it's great. You kind of, to me, it seems like you found a happy medium where you're still doing stuff, but like you're not like totally burned out from doing it.
Yeah. It could be a little much every once in a while. It depends on, like, you pitch 10 items or whatever, articles, and like if they pick up 8, whoa, crap. now it's on. Like, it was easy until it became real. And then now you're held to deadlines and you actually have to do the work. The pitching is the easiest part.
Well, I guess that's a goal for me, is to get back to a happy medium where I'm getting out there shooting fairly regularly and finding what works for me and doesn't stress me out at the same time. Because I could see myself maybe doing gun reviews again, or doing more stuff in that area, or maybe even shooting some competition again. I don't know. I mean, I want to get the flow of my life back to a spot where it's not so crazy, where I have margin and everything.
Yeah, you need an actual work-life balance again.
Right. And I see that. I see that on the horizon. I'm going to get there. It's just, it's this year. It's just down the road. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's just been a lot of hard work up to now, which is paying off, which is great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Patriot Patch Company sponsors this episode. Check out the wall panels, the new patch wall panels at patriotpatch.co. They're like 30 by 36 inches, so they're fairly large wall panels. So check
I would probably suggest those more than using your safe, because if the safe, you have to be very careful pulling it off the carpeted wall, because it'll pull the carpet right off the liner if you're not careful.
Jeez. My safes don't have carpet, so I can't wait till I get to your level of safes.
I got my safe for free. My boss gave me a safe, so I'm very lucky. I couldn't have afforded one.
Yeah, all those office shootings you have. Ryan Cross, Hunter of Design, also makes this possible. Check out Ryan Cross's business, Hunter of Design, if you need logos, website design, any kind of graphic design. hunterofdesign.com. Well, that about wraps us up. What do you want to talk about next time, Zach?
I think I picked this topic. You picked the next topic.
Oh, jeez.
It's your show. It's your show.
It's our show, sweetie. Remember to subscribe to us in iTunes, that you never miss a show. Please leave us an iTunes review. Bump that anti-gunner out of the way. Go to check out the show notes at the Firearms Radio Network's website, and check out all the other awesome shows on the Firearms Radio Network.
And go like my YouTube page so I can actually make some money off it.
Oh, yeah. Go monetize Zach over at YouTube.
Go monetize me.
However that works nowadays. Is that legal?
Yeah. You're not a cop, are you?
That's a wrap. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
This has been a production of the Firearms Radio Network. You can find more information at firearmsradio.tv.